the external auditory canal, right? And of course, there's little hairs in here, cute little hairs and gunky stuff, cerumen. Catch all, bugs and stuff that want to fly in, little small birds and stuff. And here is the, what is this called? Tympanic membrane, also known as the eardrum. So the sound waves come in and they beat a little rhythm on the eardrum, okay? And we enter the middle ear. Now this is all air out here. This is air in here too, in the middle ear. And this is an important tube.
It used to be called eustachian.
It used to be called the eustachian, also called the auditory tube, also called the tympanopharyngeal, something like that.
What are we going to call it?
Okay, something like that.
You're going to call it auditory tube?
That's good enough, or whatever, or eustachian tube, or, but there's another name for it. Is it pharyngotympanic? I don't know. Anyway, there's another name for it. This is actually usually not open. It's usually collapsed, and you open it up by yawning and chewing and stuff like that, like when you go up high altitude, to equalize the pressure on both sides of the eardrum, because the pressure changes if you go up or you go down, and that can cause pain and cause difficulty with hearing. Okay. Now, the middle ear has these cute little bones. This is the actual size of them.
Oh, wow.
And they have, that's the malleus. And you can see here, this is where it attaches to the eardrum, that big surface there. Okay, the malleus means hammer, the incus or anvil, and the stirrup, which looks like a stirrup, or stapes. And you can see that it has an oval foot on it, which fits in what? Oval window, right. Also, we have a muscle attaching to this called the tensor tympani, and the smallest muscle in the body, stapedius, attached here, okay? And those help dampen the sound in case a really loud sound comes in so it doesn't blow out your system, your ears, okay? And we're going to go from a larger surface down to a very small surface at the oval window. So that's going to amplify the sound. It's going to conduct the sounds and amplify the sounds. And then here is our inner ear, carved out of bone, a bony labyrinth, and inside's a membrane. So it has inside has a membranous labyrinth. And here's the foot of the stapes fitting in here. So when the sound comes in, it pushes up and down on that. Okay. Now this is fluid filled. The membranes have fluids in them. And so when you push on the fluid, we have to release some other place, and that's going to release at the round window. So it pushes in here, pushes out there. Okay. Now this is the part for hearing, called the cochlea. Looks like a snail. And when you look at it in the microscope, you're going to see the repeating units, depending on what power you have on. Right now, I think it's on high power, so you might just see one of them. But if you go down to a lower power, you'll see these repeating units. It's very distinctive, because they made a little cut like this. So that's for hearing. And let's see, we have also for balance and equilibrium, we have the vestibule, a vestibular complex. This is called the vestibule here. It has a utricle and saccule in it. It has these little hairs embedded, they're microvilli, they're called stereocilia. They're embedded in gelatinous material. It has little calcium carbonate particles called otoliths. Okay, that means when you tilt your head, gravity pulls on those little stones and that fluid, and then it turns those little microvilli, and then you can tell which way your head is turned. And that's all static equilibrium. It also is involved in what we call linear acceleration. If you're going in a line, and accelerating. And then these are the semicircular canals. You can see they're at a 90-degree angle to each other. What are they called? Semicircular canals. By the way, this is the maculae. That was the type of receptor there. At the base of here, we have the crista. We have an ampullaris. It's enlarged. Crista ampullaris is there. Again, we have like a gelatinous material with hair cells embedded in it. The top, the gelatinous part is called. This gelatinous part is called the cupula, and it's embedded in fluid on the outside. So when you turn your head, depending which way you turn it, you stimulate different semicircular canals, and that's for dynamic equilibrium. I didn't mention in class, but we get used to movement. That's one of the things that we get used to, because we are turning around on this Earth very fast. We are hurtling through space around the sun, and the whole solar system's moving, but luckily we're not aware of it. Can you imagine? That'd be pretty bad. Okay, pretty bad. Okay. So these actually all work together. The whole, semicircular canals and the vestibule do work together. Okay. What else do I want to say about it? And of course, we have what cranial nerve is involved here? 8. Okay. Part of it goes to the pons, part of it goes to the medulla oblongata. When you look at each little cutaway here, you're going to see the scala vestibuli on top and the scala tympani on the bottom and the cochlear duct in the middle. And in that cochlear duct, you're going to, or scala media, it's going to have what's called the organ of Corti. And that's where you actually do the hearing. And again, they have these little cells sticking up with little, like microvilli sticking up into the tectorial membrane, which is over it. Now, when sound waves come in through the scalar vestibuli, it causes eventually the basal membrane underneath to move up and down, and then these little hair cells embedded in the tectorial membrane get bent. And depending on where you bend it along the pathway, you see here different frequencies of sound. Sound we measure in hertz and loudness in decibels. And you can lose just part of your hearing if you're, like go to rock concerts, you may lose the bass notes or something like that, depending on where you go. Okay. So you should recognize the little organ of Corti there, and you should. Okay. Is that enough? Maybe? For now? Okay. There's an art here. And I think there's a key on this. There might be, no, on some of them there's keys.
Where's the organ of Corti?